in the next class. In the next class. We're having a Tu B'Shvat celebration. Practice our brachot. Sorry? Today we're having it. Today at 11 o'clock. Rav Listman is not giving his regular partial shir.
Oh, is there a party?
There's a party.
Rosh Chodesh?
No, you'll see.
Is it bigger than Rosh Chodesh?
No. Less dancing and music. Now? I don't think so. I don't know. In any case, we're going to get started with some Tu B'Shvat discussions and learning. And the truth is, I have some pages here which will give us a good review of what we did yesterday. I took it from a children's book. It teaches children how to... Now these pages got a little bit messed up by some water. But this is one set, okay? You hold it like this. This is page 1, this is page 2. No, this is the same thing. There you go. Okay. This is page 1. I have 3 copies, 4 copies. Okay, so you guys look at this together. Two of you. Look together. Pass one over. Some of you are going to have to share. Sorry. Okay? All right, so this is actually girls. Excuse me for the girls. And the girls, you have to look together. Welcome. See the bottom right-hand corner? What does it say?
Aren't you supposed to black out the girl?
Oh, no. They're all very tanua. They're all covered up. Don't worry. And we're a little liberal about that. Welcome to the, what does it say at the bottom right? Welcome to the the Trumos and Masros exhibit. You can color this if you like. Take some colored pencils. And it's an exhibit. And it says at the bottom, the entrance is free. Do you see that, Amram, at the bottom right? Start here. And follow the arrows. Please do not touch the exhibits, okay? No touching. Okay. So you go through, and the first step, what's it called? The big tire. It's in a big tire. It's called tevel. What's tevel? Not kosher, forbidden fruit. What are the laws of it? What's forbidden? You can see in the pictures. Not mita b'dei shamayim, not karet. Mita b'dei shamayim, death from heaven. But that's not the same thing as karet. There's 2 different punishments.
Basically, there's no difference between karet and that.
There is a difference. There's a big difference, but we won't get into it right now. Okay? But there's different punishments. But anyways, not for. Anyways, tevel. What are you not allowed to do with the tevel?
No,
Drink, eat, sell.
I say selling, anointing, lighting. Oh, yes, some olive oil. You would, who anoints? Yeah, well, do you never put on some hand cream?
it's not anointing.
That's what, okay, yeah, anointing is fine, yeah, okay. Anyways, so if you look at the teacher on the left-hand side at the bottom, she says, Shmuel, will you read it for her, please? Fruits. Excellent. And then the girl, the smart aleck girl at the bottom, what does she say, Gedalia?
Also, tevel cannot be eaten. They're used. Trumos, masros must be taken, but without a blessing. If we buy produce...
That's the other girl. That's Eov's the other girl.
If we buy produce from a store, but don't know if the most and masalot has been taken from it, it is known as doubtful tevel.
What do you do when you get some doubtful tevel? Or you take off Trumot and Masrot without a blessing. You can fix it without a blessing, because it's doubtful tevel. You only make a blessing if it's for sure tevel. Okay? Got it? Let's move on to the exhibit. Follow the arrows. What's the next one? Go over the bridge. You go over the bridge and give some food to the bird. And then at the top right-hand corner, you have upon separating. And now, basically, you have the entire, let's read the entire recitation, which you know. And then we're going to see piece by piece it gets broken down. So who can read for me the entire thing? Shmuel, read the upon separating maasros.
Upon separating maasros, separate just over 1 in 100, a bit more than 1% of each kind of produce. Put it near the rest and say,
Go, keep going.
the part on the northern side of that which has been placed separately, which is in excess of more than 100, I hereby establish as Terumah Golan. If one separates several kinds at one time, one adds each one from one of its own kind.
By the way, we didn't mention that yesterday, but sometimes I bring up from my garden some lettuce and some strawberries. So I have to take off 1%, a little more than 1% of a strawberry, and a little more than 1% of lettuce. Right? Each species you take off from its own kind. Okay, keep going.
And the remaining 100th, which has been placed separately, and 9 similar hundredths on the northern side of the produce, I hereby establish as the Maaser Rishon, each one from its own kind. That 100th which is placed...
That 1/100th.
Yeah, so that 1/100th which is placed separately, that is included in what I have established as Maaser Rishon, I now hereby establish as Truma Maaser, each one from its own kind. So that's the 1% of the 9%?
Exactly. That's the one. See, we have it here still on the board from yesterday. The entire top row is 10%. And only this one of them becomes Trumat Maaser, which has to be separated. The rest of the 9 we're going to eat. Even though we've given it to the Levi, we're going to eat it. He doesn't want it. Yeah.
What if it's from the middle of the field? You can't really...
This is not a field. This is a pile of fruit that you have in front of you. This is not a picture of a field. No. This is a picture of fruit, like you have it here in the picture in the top. It's a bunch of fruit with you cut off 1% of it. Okay.
So if you have 2 fruits, you have to take
You have to cut off.
from the north one.
That's right.
And from the south one.
You don't actually have to cut from the south. We're just going to declare it, and it stays in. We're going to redeem it, but unless you're giving it to the poor. But yeah.
Could you have a copy of the...
From yesterday? Yeah, sure. Here. Okay, so we'll keep reading. I'll keep reading. I hereby establish Maaser Sheni on the southern side of the produce, and I redeem it, and an additional 1/5 thereof of the value of a pruta of the coin that I have designated for redeeming Maaser Sheni and Rabbi. If the Maaser Sheni is not worth a pruta, it then its fifth shall be redeemed at whatever its value is. If the produce is liable to Maaser Ani instead of Maaser Sheni, I hereby establish Maaser Ani on the southern side, each one from its own kind. If the food is Rabbi, it then its fifth shall be redeemed on a pruta in the coin which I have designated for redeeming Maaser Sheni and Rabbi. Okay, so we're going to do this slow, piece by piece now. That's what this exhibit shows. The first step is on the top left-hand side of your pages. Terumah Gedolah. What did you do with it in the times of the temple? Can you see the picture of the temple?
It's forbidden to eat.
You give it to Kohen.
It's given to the Kohen in the times of the temple. What about nowadays? What does the girl say?
Kohen mustn't eat.
That's right. These girls, they know their stuff. And how much truma do we give nowadays, Amram? What does she say on the left-hand side?
How much truma do we give nowadays? A tiny amount.
A tiny amount. If you look, there's a chart in the top left corner, which is very similar to what we did on the board, and I'll just point it out here. This tiny little bit, a tiny little bit, that's Truma Gedolah. Is that clear? That's only the first step. the exhibit continues on this page. Pass this around. Pass this around. Oh, here's a big one. Who wants the big one? Sam, your eyesight's not good enough. Here's a big one.
Okay.
And I might have another one. I might have another one here. Okay, so let's just look at it then until I find the other one. Here it is. This is page 1. Here they're together. Who wants a whole page of them together? We're up to the middle of the second page, the top. Next step is Maaser Rishon. You see that? Top right-hand corner of page 2.
Okay.
And what did you do with it in the temple times? Kedai, what did you do with it in the temple times? It's in Hebrew. Can you read the Hebrew? It's very small. Yeah, inside the picture. Here. Pass this down. Who wants a full, complete page? You could have it. It's one big exhibit. Who else wants one? Like this. So we're in the middle of the page. In the times of the temple, the Maharisha, it says in Hebrew there, Notnim LaLevi. That's what it says. Notnim LaLevi. Can you see that in Hebrew? Who else needs one? Shmuel, you want your own? You're good. Okay. So you give it to the Levi in the time of the temple. What do we do with it nowadays?
The remaining 100, which...
That's the statement that we read, but read the teachers of the girls. 1/10 of the total amount becomes Maaser Rishon. And then what do the girls underneath say?
One can eat the Maaser Rishon after its Truma's Maaser has been separated. The northernmost side of the produce becomes Maaser Rishon.
Okay, great. Yeah, so there's one which has, you can see that on the right-hand side of the produce, it should be grayed out a little bit, the top, the right-hand 1%. Like I did over here, this has all been grayed and marked because this entire row is going to be Maaser Rishon. We get to eat it only after step 3. Go over the bridge. Follow the arrow over the bridge to the left-hand side of the top left-hand corner of the page. The next step is taking off Trumat Maaser. In the times of the temple, who can read the Hebrew? Halevi noten lakohen. And here, this girl with the glasses, what does she say? Today even Kohanim can't eat it, and therefore we bury it or wrap it up and throw it away. Okay? And on the left-hand side, you can see the Trumat Maaser. 1/100th of the produce becomes Trumat Maaser. That's this one. This one over here. So we have Trumat Maaser and Truma. 2.5 and 1 from yesterday's class, if you remember. Those are the 2 times that we had the word Teruma. Truma is not allowed to be eaten, so that's just a little bit. And Terumat Maaser, that's 1%. So this is number 1, and this is number 2.5. You see, those are the true. That's what you have to get rid of. It's 1% plus a little bit. Okay, that has to be gotten rid of and not eaten. Forbidden to eat that. So far, so good. We're almost done. This is a good exhibit. I'm so excited. Can we keep walking on the path? Walk down the path. What's the next step? Here there's a split. One side of the path there's Maaser Ani. On the other side of the path there's Maaser Sheni. Now it's a little bit didn't come through in the photocopy, but you see that there's years indicated on the castle. So everybody take a pen. Here's pens. And color in which years are for which exhibit. Which years should be for Maaser Sheni and which years for Maaser Ani?
Maaser Sheni is 1, 2, 4, and 5.
Excellent. That's right. Maaser Ani is 3 and 6. Very good. What do you do with the Maaser Sheni? So if you look at the,
You can eat it.
well, no, so look in the times of the temple, what would you do with it in the times of the temple? You see it in the castle? So there's two options there. One is if Jerusalem is close, you say goodbye to your wife, get on your donkey. You see the picture of the donkey?
Yeah.
The guy saying goodbye to his wife? It's sort of in the middle of the page. Amram, look over here. In the middle of the page. You find it? You see the picture? Yerushalayim Krova, it's Jerusalem close, so you just take the fruit and bring them to Jerusalem, and you eat them there. But if Yerushalayim is Rechoka, then you exchange the fruit, the holiness of the fruit, onto a coin, and then you travel with the coin to Jerusalem. Is that clear? That's what the Torah says. So what do we do nowadays? So the girl at the bottom, underneath the exhibit, says the Maaser Sheni sanctity is transferred onto a coin. And there are many different laws about the coin that are worth learning. Thank you very much. She's a little bit of a know-it-all. I don't like her, but anyways, it's okay. And the southern side of the produce becomes Maaser Sheni, as we did yesterday. The southern side of the produce. This is, you can see, we're all dealing with that basket of fruit, which is on the platform.
So it's not the field.
It's not the field. I thought, I'm sorry if that was unclear yesterday. Well, this is not portions of a field. This is portions of the fruit that you want to eat. The fruit that's tevel. You harvested some fruit, you brought it home, now you want to eat it. You're not allowed to. It's tevel. You got to take off part of it, give it to the Kohen. Take off part of it, give it to the Levi. Take off part of it, take it to Jerusalem. Take off part of it, give it to the poor. Whichever it is, in the proper order that we just learned. It's about the fruit, not the field. The field is a different mitzvah called peah, which is that you leave it in the field, and that's something else.
The northern side of fruit is a bit complicated.
Yeah, that's why you have here on each one of the platforms in the exhibits, they point out which is north and which is south.
That's a basket?
It's a basket. It's a basket of fruit. You know that in our text, in our Siddur, it doesn't say northern and southern. What does it say? The upper part and the lower part.
Okay.
Because, like you said, what's north and south? It's the basket. You have a pile of fruit, the top and the bottom.
You have one fruit?
Top and bottom. Okay? And then, Maaser Ani, what did it used to be done? And what is it done now? Same thing. You see, there's no castle. Well, there's still poor people today, so Maaser Ani is definite tevel is given to the poor. Everyone is allowed to eat the Maaser Ani. So if you don't have a poor person who wants your quarter of a tomato, you could eat it yourself. So that's why it's less severe on year 3 and year 6. And it's a cute little exhibit. I apologize for the quality of the photocopies, but we got it done. It worked. Good? Everybody's good with that? Let's. I'll keep it if you want. Yeah. Or you can keep it if you want. Whatever you want. The papers are kind of water clogged, got moldy. Now let's talk more about Tu B'Shvat on the metaphysical plane. And let's try to appreciate various themes which we try to appreciate. Oh, by the way, this is my subscription to this institute that keeps. See, I got a subscription. This is from 2017, and it says that I've got a coin there for me to redeem my produce on the Maaser Sheni. Right, this 9% has to be redeemed in year 1, 2, 4, and 5 onto a coin. So they keep the coin for me, And in years, which is Maaser Ani, they also have Maaser Ani. It's all in Hebrew, so I'm not giving it to you. But and see, I paid here. I paid for it 119 shekels, I think. Maybe I also paid a little extra because they gave me a book. I might have it here, but anyways. You try to appreciate trees and the nature. You can see on the right-hand side, the song of nature. It comes from Rabbi Menachem of Breslov. The tune comes from Nomi Shemer.
Oh, the lady that sang Yerushalayim shows on.
Same one. What a composer! She composed words and the lyrics and the tunes. And this one became really famous. It won contests. And the words of Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, she took the words and sort of made them a little more fitting to the tune. So this is not a word for word translation. Rendition of Rabbi Nachman's words, but it's very true to the meaning. If you look in the English at the right hand bottom of the page, right hand side, we'll have Amram. Will you read for us the English? No. Right hand side. Over there at the bottom.
Know that every shepherd has his own melody. Know that every blade of grass has its own song. And from the song of the grass comes the melody of the shepherd.
Stop there. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Which line?
Huh?
Which line?
We just read it. Pay attention, not to your pudding. Pay attention to Amram. Let's read it again. Amram, read it again, please. No.
Know that every shepherd has its own melody. Know that every blade of grass has its own song. And from the song of the grass comes the melody of the shepherd.
So what does that mean?
The
I don't think it's
grass-
complicated.
the
I think
grass
it's
is
actually
talking-
quite simple.
The grass is talking to the shepherd,
The grass is talking,
and he's whistling in it.
and the shepherd is whistling.
Whistling?
Well, he has a melody.
Have you ever been a shepherd?
No.
I want to.
You want to?
No, you don't.
You were. You didn't like it? Ah,
The farm is a brutal life.
okay. Okay.
It's a brutal life.
City boy.
Apparently.
I'm not a city boy. I grew up in rural Ohio on a farm.
So, do you know that who was a shepherd in our Jewish history tradition? David, Moshe, yeah, Yitzchak, Yaakov, all the children, all of our forefathers were shepherds. Interesting, huh? Anyways, here he says that every shepherd has a melody. Do you have a melody?
Yeah. For the grass?
My mother has a melody. The name of her caregiver from the Philippines. Melody. No, but seriously, I have a melody. But you don't have a melody when you're sitting by yourself learning Torah. You have a little sing-song. Da 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 da. There's different tunes go through your head. No? Doesn't happen to you? You don't have tunes in your head sometimes?
When I'm studying Torah, not particularly.
No. So when you're sitting, I don't know, on the beach, do you ever hum a tune?
I listen.
When you're cooking, do you ever hum? You're always listening. I see. That's the problem nowadays. All these earphones.
No.
So the shepherd is is not just a shepherd with sheep that are grazing. It means each and every person, really. Like the forefathers, they were shepherds. It's because they took care of sheep, but also because they were just people tending to their lives, and spending time in nature enables you to perhaps connect to yourself and connect to Hashem, who created the nature. And so every person has his own melody. When you're doing washing the dishes, you ever wash dishes? Did you ever sing the song to yourself? Wash the floors? You never do anything. Yeah?
Only in
I'm
silence.
usually listening to the radio or something. I
Mm.
sing and I watch.
You sing and you wash the dishes. Good, good, good. So that's what he means. What he means is, more than that, it's not really just about music. What does he mean? What is a melody? It's an expression of yourself. Right? You express yourself in the world. It doesn't have to be in song. Sometimes you express yourself in how you conduct yourself, what you choose to eat, what you choose to do with your life. That's each and everybody's melody. The shepherd has a melody. But you know what the Rabbi Nachman is teaching us here? That every blade of grass has its own song, and the melody of the shepherd comes from
The grass.
the grass and backwards and forwards.
The rest is words, I don't know. Don't matter.
Nature, he's talking about nature. Nature also has something to say. It expresses itself in the world. And you know what's amazing is that I think the point is that each one is different. All the blades of grass look the same to us. Maybe one's a little taller, one's a little smaller. Did you ever hear the grass? Does the grass make noise?
And it's really.
You can definitely hear the grass rustling in the wind. Right? There's noise from the field. Sometimes it depends on the wind. So sure, there's a musical notes, but also the point is that every shepherd has his own melody. Just like every blade of grass has its own song. This is poetry, folks. It's a metaphor. What do you think? For people and nature and life, and that we should listen to ourselves, listen to what nature has to tell us. There's some hidden songs, some hidden messages, maybe, in our interaction with nature. Okay, keep going. Amram, read the next paragraph. How beautiful.
How beautiful, beautiful and pleasing it is to hear them singing. It is very good to pray among them and with joy to worship God. And from the song of the grass, the heart feels and yearns.
So what is Rabbi Nachman telling you to do?
Go touch some grass.
It's both of those, you say. What do you say?
Go touch some grass.
Touch some grass.
Go pray in some grass.
Go pray in some grass. Right, pray there. He says, it's very good to pray among them because, well, nature is singing to God and you want to sing to them. It's good to hear them singing and then you pray among them. And from the song of the grass, the heart fills and yearns. Well, you can imagine being in a forest, good. Or what else? A field. A field with just sort of being in nature. And just like the nature sings to God, you sing to God. Okay, continue the last part.
And when the heart fills with joy and yearns for the land of Israel, a red light then is drawn. From the holiness of the land and from the song of the grass comes the melody of the heart.
Oof. The land of Israel. Wow. Land of Israel is something that you yearn for. We're so lucky to be here, but still we're yearning for the complete land of Israel. Land of Israel. What happens when you connect to this yearning? A great light is drawn from the holiness of the land. The land has a certain holiness that you can connect to, right? If you're connecting to the nature in the land of Israel. From the song of the grass comes the melody of the heart. And this beautiful poem, which...
He was here for a short time.
He was here for a short time, Rabbi Nachman, for a short time. But he taught all of his Hasidim when he went back to Russia. Ukraine, sorry. He went back And he taught them how important Eretz Israel is. And Eretz Israel, it sounds like he's saying you can even connect to it from the Ukraine. Because where do you hear it? You hear it in the
Grass.
in the grass,
Why?
in your heart, in your yearning. You can sort of draw down the holiness of the land of Israel wherever you are. Here's how the song goes, if you haven't heard it before. It's one contest. It's a very popular song. It goes like this, from the top. You can follow along in Hebrew or in the transliteration. Da lecha shekol ro'eh v'ro'eh יש לו ניגון מיוחד עם משלו. דע לך שכל עשב ועשב יש לו שירה מיוחדת משלו, ומשירת העשבים נעשה ניגון שרואה. כמה יפה, כמה יפה ונאה, כששומעים השירה שלהם. טוב מאוד להתפלל ביניהם, ובשמחה לעבוד את השם, ומשירת העשבים מתמלא הלב ומשתוקק. וכשהלב מן השירה מתמלא ומשתוקק אל ארץ ישראל. אור גדול אזי נמשך והולך מקדושתה של הארץ עלה, ומשירת העשבים נעשה ניגון של הלב. Beautiful, sort of meditative repetition of the tune. So you have to sort of get into the mood. And but what do we say? That tefillah is avodat halev. Tefillah is not just about those saying words. It's about praying from the heart. So sometimes nature helps us connect to our prayers to Hashem and to our own melody. Every shepherd has his own melody. It's connected to the grass, connected to the nature that he connects with, that he's in touch with. So this is sometimes sung on Tu B'Shvat. This one you know, in the top left-hand corner, another song. Many times it's sung when the Torah is being brought back to the ark. Etz Chaim hi Slikim ba V'tomcheha meyosha. Again. Etz Chaim hi Kimbar v'tomcheha Ushar deracheha darchei noah v'chol netivoteha shalom deracheha darchei noah v'chol netivoteha Shalom. Right. Yefeh. Nice tune. What does it say? What does it mean?
The Torah is a tree of life for all who hold fast to it.
That's the first part. They didn't translate the second verse. This comes from Mishlei.
Ways of pleasant.
Good. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and kol netivoteha, all of its paths are peace. Paths of peace. So first of all, what does the first pasuk mean? Say it in your own words, Gedalia.
The tree of life.
That's
first line, the first pasuk.
Yeah, the first pasuk, which you have the translation here. Yeah, Eitz Chaim Yidam Chazikim Bav Torah V'Tomchei HaMeushar. So it means the Torah is a tree of life for all who hold fast to it. Right? You have the translation there. What does it mean?
It's who follows and learns Torah has a long life in this world and the world.
As a long life, you say. Well, I don't know where you see that.
Tree of life.
What's tree of life mean to you?
Tree of life.
Immortality.
Immortality. Wow.
Spirits.
Ooh, the tree of life is the Kabbalists talk about a tree of 10 mystical aspects. Okay. What else?
Gives you eternal life.
Happiness.
It gives you Tomchei Meushar, your happiness. You're happy. What's Tomcheha?
Those who support her.
Those who support her. What does it say here in English?
Isn't this really about the Torah? Like, don't they call like the rollers at Tzim?
Atzei Chaim. That's right. They're called Atzayim. The rollers of the Torah are called Atzei Chaim. Why? Because the Torah is compared to
Tree of life.
the tree of life. The tree of life. And what does it mean? V'tomchei ha'meushar. Here it says those who hold fast to it are happy. What? No, l'machzikim ba is those who hold fast to it. So what's tomcheha versus machzikim ba? They didn't translate the full sentence.
Those a whole long.
Those who hold on to it. So you got to hold on to it. You know what image I have that jumped into my head?
What?
A guy who's drowning in the river,
He's holding onto a life raft.
and he finds a log.
And the log.
A
is
log.
the Torah.
That comes by, and he's so tired he grabs onto the log, and that log's floating. It keeps him afloat. Those who hold on to it, whew, it's a stormy world out there, full of all sorts of ways of life and opinions. The Torah is like a tree of life. So that's the maybe not a log, a full tree fell into the river. You hold on to it, gives you life. You don't drown. That's one image. But Shmuel, you're right. It says v'tomchei ha'meushar. What does that mean in Hebrew?
Its supporters are happy, satisfied.
So its supporters are happy. Tomcheha. That's a turn of the tables. Who's supporting who now? The first image, the beginning, we said you're holding on for dear life to the tree. The tree is saving you, right? It's giving you life. The tree gives you life. But in this case, Tomcheha, you are supporting it. You'll be happy if you support it. Give tzedakah to the yeshiva to support people who learn Torah. And maybe it doesn't only have to be money. You invest in it. If you invest in it, you'll be happy. Tomcheha is not only do you hold on to it, but you invest in it. You work on keeping the Torah afloat in your life. You'll be happy. Beautiful pasuk. The next pasuk that has no translation is, as Eov was saying, Deracheha, its ways. Derech is way, right? Darchei Noam. Noam means pleasantness. You know, this is halachot based on this idea. For example, there's a debate in the Talmud, should we use this kind of lulav or that kind of lulav for Sukkot? And you know what the Talmud says? It says, it can't be that kind of lulav because it's all prickly. Torah would never give us a mitzvah which was all prickly. we'd be hurting ourselves all the time. And deracheha darchei noam. Its ways are ways of pleasantness. So we must make sure that our Torah is pleasant. That's why we're having food in the next class. Because deracheha darchei noam. Its ways are ways of pleasantness. That's why I smile. Do you think I smile because I like you, Israel? Do you think I smile because you donated blood yesterday? I'm so proud of you. Kol hakavod. He did. Yesterday.
We have to be citizens to.
Apparently, you don't have to be a citizen. You bring your passport, right?
Yeah.
You can do it as a tourist. You can donate blood.
Because in Kiryat as Masa students, we weren't allowed to do that. Only Israelis or the soldiers.
I see.
They're just step.
Well, ask Yisrael. He went there. He did it. They let him donate blood.
You take passport and you ask the form, two paper, up the form.
You fill out the form. It says, do you have any diseases? Have you had any...
You know, Hashem, the front Thai is zero.
Oh.
But I forget all positive, negative.
Oh, positive. It doesn't matter, yeah. They take all blood types because I'm AB positive. AB positive. It's quite rare. I try to give every 3 months. You're allowed to give only every 3 months. What? Oh, negative. Okay, good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. You can give. It's a big mitzvah. Anyways, this is one.
What's the universal door?
I don't know. I can't remember. Deracheha darchei noam. Its ways are ways of pleasantness. V'chol netivoteha shalom. All of its paths. Nativ. You might have heard the word before. Nativ means a path. Shalom, peace. Wow. Sometimes the rabbis and the Jews fight. Not very peaceful. We'd fight with each other. It's not right. The Torah, if you're living Torah properly, its ways are the ways of peace. We only fight when we have to. Right now we're in a war to protect our citizens. But the path of the Torah is supposed to be a path of peace, promoting peace. So we sing it one more time. You guys, not everybody knows it so well. It's an Ashkenazi tune. More Ashkenazi than Sephardi.
They sing it here, this too.
They sing this tune, so you should know it from the yeshiva if you come. If you come. Who was in davening this morning? Good. Okay. Did you sing this morning? No, there's no Torah reading on Wednesdays. Tomorrow. And even then, they don't always have time to sing during the week. Or they sing this on Shabbat. But there's other tunes as well. But let's sing it one more time. Etz Chaim Hi Ma Chazikim Ba V'Tom Che'a Me'oshar Etz Chaim Zikim Ba V'Tom Che'a Me'oshar V'Delat Che'a Darchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom ashirenu Hashem elecha v'nashuva chadesh yameinu. And when you put back the Torah, you say additional verses which are not here on the page, okay? But it got a little ruined by some water damage, but okay, so far so good? Good? Should we do the last one? The last one is Matovu Alecha Yaakov Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Find it in the Siddur. What page? I'm going to guess it's on page 15 and 16.
So 15 or 16.
I think.
26.
26? Oh, thank you very much. Page 26, please.
28.
You know this book? It's a good book. Yeah, 26. Do you have it? It's only the first line. We actually have a collection. 26. Not 206. 26. 26. 26. Okay, you got it? Now there's a few tunes. Which one do you know? I don't know. But now, if you remember, I played for you a singer who chanted it together with the next verses. Ma tovu alecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael v'ani berov chazdecha avo v'techa eshtachave elecha kodshecha ve'yiratecha. That's if you're chanting the whole thing, but since we have on our pages just one line, who made up this line? Bilam. That's right. Prophecy in the Torah. How goodly are the tents. What tents was he talking about? What tents? What tents of Am Yisrael?
When we were camping opposite
That's right. We were camping when we came out of Egypt. There were Jewish people were living in tents, apparently. And so he said, how goodly are their tents. But I don't have a tent. I mean, I have a few in the storage. When I go camping, I take out my tents. Is he praising my tent? No. What's he praising? So the Ohel and Mishkan means the dwelling of Israel. So the tents of Jacob and the dwelling of Israel. What does it refer to? So maybe in the original, the prophecy was about those tents that he saw of the encampment of the Israelites. But why do we recite it every day when we enter the synagogue? Because the tents of Jacob refer to the Batei Knesset. And the dwelling houses of Israel refer to the Batei Midrash. Places for study, and the study hall and the prayer hall. So that's why we say it every morning when we come into the synagogue. How goodly are the tents, Jacob, referring to the tents, to the Bat Knesset and the Beit Midrash.
And Yaakov is referring to the women, right?
No. Yaakov and Yisrael, they're both masculine names. They had wives, so they're both men. But they're different expressions. This is it's a poem, obviously, so there's repetition in different words, which have different connotations, it's true. But in essence, they're different ways of saying the Jews, what we call today the Jewish people. Yaakov, you can call them Yaakov, you can call them Yisrael. And sure, there's differences between them, and we have to analyze why he used tents for Jacob and dwelling places for Israel. But I don't think we're going to do that right now. Right now we're going to sing. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Again, ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu alecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu alecha Yaakov Kenotecha Yisrael. There's a continuation, but you don't have the words. Continuation is Va'ani, the next pasuk. You have it on the Siddur. Va'ani bero, and look in the Siddur. Va'ani bero chastecha avo veitecha eshtacha ve'elhecha lekodshecha ve'yiratecha. Nice. Okay. So many times man is compared to a tree. Before we heard man being compared to a shepherd in the field. We heard the Torah being compared to a tree, right? The tree of life, the Torah. But in the Torah itself, man is compared to a tree. In what way is man like a tree? We're going to discuss this in greater detail. But let's read one story in the Gemara Ta'anit. Iyo, will you read for us? A man was traveling in the desert.
Yeah. A man traveling in the desert was tired, hungry, and thirsty. He happened upon a tree whose fruit was sweet, whose shade was pleasant, and it stood beside a flowing stream. He ate of the fruit, drank from the water, and rested in the shade. As he prepared to leave, he said, "O tree, with what can I bless you? Should I bless you with sweet fruit? They are already sweet. That your shade be pleasant, it is already pleasant. Let a stream of water flow beside you, the stream already flows beside you. Therefore I say, Peter's son, may it be God's will that all your offshoots be just like you."
Sometimes, I think once I got a present and they wrote this quote on the card in the present. Why did they write this quote on the card? What were they trying to tell me?
Like kids should be rabbis like you, great people.
So where'd you get that from? What does the tree give you?
Fruits.
Fruits, sweet fruits to eat, right? What else?
Shade.
Shade, because you're
Wood for fire.
tired, and thirsty. There was a stream, right? So what do you think the food, the shade, and the drink represent? Is it just physically the guy was hungry and tired and thirsty?
So he went to his friend's house. Friend gave him food to eat.
Could be.
A place to stay, and gave him some water, and he blessed the friend.
And what did he say? What did he mean to say to the friend?
Your offspring should also be like you.
Your offspring should be like you. Got it. So you should always be giving food and drink to your friends. Anything else?
Could also be Torah.
Are there any other fruits to a person? Are there any other things that a tree gives you? If you say man is like a tree, what does a man give to others? Does a man give off fruits? Does a man give off shade? I can stand like this. Whoever wants to, I'll cover you up with my hands. And I mean, sometimes I protect my children, the small children, and I cover them with my shade. Sometimes I do feed them. And I give them drink. I give them a bottle of wine. My kids are adults. But what else do you give?
It also means.
What else as a person? What kind of human tree? What are its shade, its fruit, and it's the water? Sport, okay.
Torah that he learned, he teaches to others.
Right, you could be teaching Torah, maybe giving people to drink means teaching them Torah. What else? Tzedakah, you can give other people tzedakah, give them sustenance, true. Protection, good. What else? If you're a human tree, what can you, what benefits do you give? You could comfort others, provide them protection. You can help them, giving them physical food, maybe also companionship. You can do lots of things. Any case, do we have fruit? Do we have descendants? Offshoots. They should always be like you. That means that you are so great as you are, the best, but you're already great. So how can the great become greater? It's impossible. I once had a t-shirt, I think. It's hard to be perfect. No, what does it say? It's hard.
To be perfect when you are to be perfect.
It's hard to be humble when you're as great as I am. Right? So what do you bless somebody who you want to say? He's so great. He's so perfect. He's so good. He says, well, that should continue. And give to others in the next generation. But I want to tell you that there are other things that I want you to open up, please, to page 726, please, in your Siddur. Pirkei Avot, 724 actually. 724, and it's in Mishnah 22. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah said in Mishnah 22, he used to say, to what may one whose wisdom exceeds his deeds be compared? So what do we have? Wisdom
Less action.
and deeds, what you do. Which is better? Which is better?
Deeds.
You say deeds, yeah?
Both are necessary.
Boy, we're in the wrong place. What are we doing in a school? We're learning wisdom. That's not good. We should be doing deeds. We're learning in order to do, but is it not, what if we'd never ever practice taking off Trumot Masrot? You always buy at a store that has a kosher certificate. So did we waste our time? No, the study of Torah for its own sake we're studying the Word of God. The study is very important. Wisdom is also important. So which do you need to have more? You have to have both, wisdom and deeds. So let's see what Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah says. Steve, will you read for us? 22, from the beginning.
He used to say, what may one whose wisdom exceed his deed be compared to a tree with many branches but few roots? When the winds come, it uproot and overturn it. As it is said, we shall be like a juniper tree in the desert, which does not sense the coming of wood. It is set in the scorched place of the wilderness in a barren, uninhabited land. What may one whose deed exceed his wisdom be compared to a tree with a few branches but many roots? Even if all the winds of the world come and blow against it, they cannot dislodge it from its place. That he said, it shall be like a tree planted by waters, sending forth its root by a stream. It does not sense the coming of heat. Its leaves are ever fresh. It has no care in the years of drought. It does not cease to bear fruit.
Wow. So which is better? Which does he say you have to have more of?
Roots.
What are the roots?
Deeds.
The deeds, he says. Very interesting. I would say the opposite. The roots are maybe the wisdom. From which?
No sense.
I would say that the roots is your wisdom. From the wisdom, that's the root, And then you grow and you bear fruit and your branches come out and they do stuff. He says the opposite. Actually, your deeds are like the roots and they keep you grounded. And even if bad things happen, winds, you won't be uprooted if you have more deeds than wisdom. Surprising a little bit, don't you think?
There's logic to it. I can understand what you're saying.
What do you think gives you more staying power? Imagine a tree with deep roots, cannot be shaken. Who was with us when we picked the olives? Did you see that they had this machine which grabbed onto the tree and shook it really hard? Didn't budge. The roots were so strong. The roots were so strong that the tree lasted. Those trees were old. Those trees were, I don't know, 50 years old, maybe more. Very old trees, and they were very, very strong because they had strong roots. What, in comparison, in our lives, what gives you strong roots? So that even if you suffer tragedy, if you suffer, I'm going to meet for lunch a friend of mine who lost his son, the soldier who was killed in battle. I don't know what I'm going to say to him. He's strong. He's managing. What gives you strength to withstand all the difficulties of life? What would you say? What do you say of what gives you strength? Hashem. So you're saying faith, yeah. Your belief in God should be loud. Those are your strong roots. Yeah, what do you say, Isra? Torah.
The Hashem is the wisdom.
The wisdom of Torah, yeah. Yeah, the wisdom of Torah gives you strength. What do you say, Shmuel?
Well, I agree with the opening style. It's not just book. I mean, some people have holy books, and they put them on the bookshelf, and this will protect me because it's in my house.
Right.
And it doesn't work like that.
Right.
You have to work and study to do something with the. And after yeshiva, Moshe has already started with the family. Families support you, and that's a big part of any person's life that their deeds, being father, being husband.
Fair. So putting into practice, you're saying, is living the life. It's not just about study. Good. What do you say, Amram?
I agree with these statements. Nothing else to add. Pray every day and
Praying. We haven't heard that yet. You're saying praying gives you strong roots, gives you strength. Right? That's a way we express our faith that Ayov was mentioning. Prayers, right? So we heard prayer, Talmud Torah, deeds, good deeds, like supporting your family. What do you say, Stephen? What are you thinking?
I think speaking to God. You have to talk to God. When you talk to God, what is important is and the prayers is.
So you're like Rabbi Nachman, right? Like Rabbi Nachman, he developed this idea. Does that pom-pom mean Rabbi Nachman? I don't know what it means. It's pretty. It's a Breslov kippah? Okay.
Always remember this. I don't know whether it's in Tehillim or what. We should always rely on God and not rely on man.
Put our trust in God and not in man. Okay, right. So what I was starting to say is that Rabbi Nachman developed this idea that, like Amram said, you should pray. But praying nowadays pretty much is opening up the Siddur, saying the words, you have kavanah. Rabbi Nachman said, you can pray outside of the Siddur as well, in your own words. And it's not even quite prayer, it's just talking. Just talking to God like you would to a person and say, hey, how's it going? Maybe you wouldn't say so freely. You would turn to him respectfully. But then you'd say, I want to tell you about my day. I want to tell you about what's going on in my life and how I'm feeling. I'm feeling all upset because I don't know what to do. I'm meeting this friend who's a mourner for his son, and I don't know what to say to him. You just talk to him about what's on your mind, right? And that's what you mean, right, Stephen? Just talking to Hashem. It's not quite prayer, but it's called hitbodedut in the Breslov terminology. Very powerful technique, very powerful. So there's different things that give you strength. Like the roots of the tree. Yeah, go ahead, Yisrael.
One very important for me, and I study the book say learn with the people together. Which one they like Torah. Very important because it's so very powerful. Just alone, sometimes okay. Yeah.
Very good. You're saying what gives you strength many times is to have a community of people that you study with. It's very, very true, very powerful, sure. We are social beings. We need the contact, the relationships, and people that you study with, people you can talk about real important things, not just somebody to have a beer with or to watch sports with. That's also good, but at more level, you're saying somebody you study with, you really gives you support in a time of, well, I guess that's what I'm doing with my friend, right? I'm having lunch with him, right? I don't know what I'm going to say to him, but I'm going to be with him.
You need to say.
I agree. Just to be with him, just to... hopefully that'll give him strength. Hopefully that'll give me strength. I need strength too. It's tragedies every day. It's really tough. We have to be strong. Can't let those winds come and knock you over. Right? So that's an interesting... so we see here that the tree, the man is compared to the tree by Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. And he has roots and he's got branches. You have to have lots of roots and a few branches, not lots of branches and very few roots. They tell the story, apparently it's a true story. It might be Ben Gurion, who was gearing up to receive a very important dignitary from England. I forget which one it was. Lord, maybe Allenby was coming to Israel, and they wanted to impress him with the new Zionists. They're building Tel Aviv. They're building Tel Aviv, and they wanted to show him, look, it's the first Jewish city, and it's so impressive. And so they created a boulevard. Maybe it was Dizengoff Boulevard. There's today in Tel Aviv, there's this massive, very wide, with trees down the middle, very pretty, right? There's a bike path, of course, in Tel Aviv, lots of bike paths today. But anyways, there's these trees. So apparently, now they were getting ready for the visit, and they ordered palm trees. I think palm trees are very tall. That they were going to plant them in this boulevard to make a very impressive road. And something happened, and all of the trees died. All the trees died before the visitor came, and so they didn't know what to do because they wanted to make a big impression. So they dug a hole in the ground and they stuck in the tree that was dead. They stuck it in very deep, and they figured, okay, it'll stand. It'll look like it's still alive. And wouldn't you know it, the Lord comes, and there's a big wind, and it blows down all the trees. And apparently, the Lord says to Ben Gurion, I think it was, and he said, without roots, it's not going to work. Says the Brit to the Israeli, yeah. So this was a colossal fail. And we can take it to mean whatever you want, but the idea of roots, you have to have roots. That's what keeps you strong. Nowadays we talk about the roots of our Jewish heritage, our connection to the land of Israel. Runs very, very deep. You can't just become a new Zionist and try to make Tel Aviv without Jerusalem, for example, or trying to create a secular Zionist state starting from scratch. We have to have our roots of the Jewish ancient connection to the land, and then we can grow new trees and new fruit and new branches, of course. So there's a lot of metaphors that the tree is used for. The Torah, right? Tree of life, as Torah, as the tree of life. The roots, it's what gives it strength. But you're all right. Nobody said a wrong answer here. Everybody has different things that give them strength. Some person it's talking to God. Some people it's studying Torah with a group. Some people it's actually living the life. It really strengthens your trunk, your tree, your strength. And then you can give off the various good things of your goodness. I heard somebody say that, you know what the Jewish ethos is, that we can all gather around, because it's no secret that today the Israeli public is searching. We're searching for something to unite us, because we have so many different opinions and different views, and there's socialists, and there's a few left, and there's capitalists, and there's secular Zionists, and there's progressives, and then there's religious people, and then Haredim, and then there's all kinds of people, all kinds of ideas. What is our common, sometimes we say the common denominator, it's just like the lowest common denominator. What's the bare minimum? We're not looking for a bare minimum, we're looking for an ethos. Like every company has a mission statement, right? What is I forget what I'm not so up on my American marketing, but Apple Computers said we bring the computer to every person, or something like that. Whatever it is, they have a mission statement. What's the mission statement of the Jewish people in the land of Israel in 2024? 5784. We're not clear. We're not clear, and this is a big problem. We need to find something. So one person said to me, you know what I think it is? I heard him say this on a podcast. He says, I think the key of what it means to be Jewish is to develop, to grow. Each person, for whatever they want, what it means to be Jewish is that we jumpstart it. We move it forward. That ability to take an idea and forward it, to develop it. So each person should be given the tools to develop themselves. That in itself is a value. That in itself is a talent, perhaps, of the Jewish people. The Jews were the founders of communism. Jews were founders of every ism in the book. Of all the nationalism, many different world movements started with Jews. Somehow there's some kind of what you say in the car, you can have the greatest engine, but if the starter plugs don't work, you need an igniter. So that's something very Jewish, that we have some dynamism to us that can push things ahead, that can help things grow. We have this drive to grow and to develop. What do they call us? The startup nation. You heard that before? This was an attempt to give us a definition. Not far from what this person is describing. Startup nation. It's not so much that we're starting, but that we help everybody develop their potential. I guess we could call us, we're the fertilizer. Fertilizer sometimes smells bad. But the fertilizer helps whatever plant is growing. What doesn't matter whether it's an apple tree or if it's a strawberry, or if it's a high-tech company. We have the ability, and we help you, push you ahead. We give you the fertilizer. We give you the conditions to help you grow. This is perhaps, I don't know, this was his idea, but this is all around the theme of Tu B'Shvat, growing, being growing as a person. I think that's another interpretation. Yafeh. Okay, let's. You know what? We're going to pray for the soldiers in the larger group today, so we won't do it here now. What I'd like to do with you is I want to find these pages. Give me a second. I have these pages. Here we go. I brought with me all sorts of pages that I have. I wanted to share this with you. Here, one each. This is a little Seder Tu B'Shvat, which was designed by a group for parents and children. As you can see, the pictures of the children. It's all in Hebrew, but you can see that the theme, if you open it up, the standard Seder Tu B'Shvat, which you're going to be doing tonight, by the way, I think at Rabbi Israel Cohen's house, you have 4 cups of wine. 4 cups of wine. And there's very, they talk a little bit about each one of the fruits of the land. So then they talk about each one of the various parts of the land of Israel as well. They have, so let's start from the beginning. The first page has the first cup. You see the first cup of wine? On the top there's a picture of a cup of wine. Over here. Kos Rishona, it says. They say, Mukdeshet lachalutzim ivrim africha shmama be'eretz Yisrael. They want to focus on appreciating the first pioneers who settled the land of Israel. At the bottom of the page, of course the top is the beginning. Vayom Hashem al Avram, lech lecha. See the top of the page, lech lecha in red, lech lecha me'artzecha me'moladatecha me'beit avicha la'aretz asher eka. Go forth from your land, from your home country, till the land which I will show you. So the beginning of sending Avram to the land of Israel, this is a good place to begin the journey of this Seder Tu B'Shvat. At the bottom, you see there is a what is that a picture of at the bottom? Wheat and wheat and barley. Wheat and barley. You see one. They look a little different. Which one is wheat? Which is barley? The wheat is on the left and the barley is on the right, at the bottom right. And why do they have wheat and barley here? Because they are the first 2 of the 7 species that the land of Israel is praised with. What are the other ones? Go to the next page. The next page. Next page says Kosmi at the bottom. That's right. This is about actually protecting the environment, protecting the nature of Israel and making it grow. Grapes and geffen, you see in the middle? Geffen and teina, figs. Grapes and figs.
Figs are purple in color?
Sorry?
Figs are purple in color?
Are what? Purple?
Yeah.
When they get ripe, they get purple, yeah. They start out green, but then when they get full and ripe, they turn purple. Yeah. Yeah. Then sometimes they even turn darker, very dark purple. But grapes, we have different colored grapes, and they have a little midrash about each one of the grapes. Next page. It says, you see the rimon, the pomegranate in the middle, and they have the different parts of the country. We missed out, the first part of the country was mentioned before. We had the Negev on the first page, the Har, the mountainous area on the second page. Do you see the little maps on each page? And the Negev, where's the Negev?
South.
And where's the mountainous region?
No.
It's in the middle, in the center. And what's the next one on this page now with the Rimon? It's on the top. It says Hashefela u'mishoachov. It's the, what do you say Shefela in English? The lowlands. What? The lowlands and the coastal plain. The coastal plain. The lowlands and the coastal plain. If you look at the bottom of that page, we go up in the map to a place called the Carmel. Where's the Carmel? In the north near Haifa, the western part of Israel. It's called the Carmel. There's a Carmel mountain just above Haifa. It's where Shmuel used to live.
Haifa's built on the Carmel.
On the Carmel mountain range. It's a mountain range, yeah. Next, Kos Shlishit. Turn the page, and you get to the third. You know about the Golan, the north. You lived there for a couple months, did you not? Olives, zait, good. And at the bottom you have
Dates.
Before the dates, you even have you have carobs, charuv, carob, right? Otherwise known as boxer. In Yiddish, it's called boxer, carobs. Yeah. Anyways, I want to show you an interesting Gemara there. By the boxer, by the carob. The Gemara tells a story about a guy called Choni. You might have heard of him. I believe he lived in the Golan. Choni HaMe'agel. He was known as the circle maker. You might have heard of this circle maker. Choni the circle maker. What kind of circles did he make?
Concentric circles.
Yeah, good. That's the only kind of circles there is. But no, he made a very famous circle when he was praying for rain once. You know that story? He said, I'm not leaving this circle until God gives me rain. Very, very extreme form of prayer. It did. It did. The point is, it's very inappropriate to pray that way, but he got away with it because he's such a big tzaddik. So the Gemara there, where by the carob, it says tells a story. He was walking and he saw a guy planting a carob tree, and he asked him, "How long does it take for the carob tree to bear fruit?" How long do you think? We talked yesterday a little bit about the laws of Orla. First 3 years you can't partake of the fruit, and we said most fruit trees don't bear fruit
3 years.
for 3 years anyways. How long does it take for a carob tree to bear fruit?
50 years?
And he saw this old man planting a tree, and he asked him, and he says, "You know how long it takes? 70 years." 70 years? I don't know if it's true, but that's what he told him. And Choni said to him, "What? Do you really think you're going to be alive? You're 30 years old now. You think you're going to ever enjoy the fruit of this fruit tree of the carobs?" And he said to him, "You know, it's interesting, but if I were to follow your logic, there would never be any carob trees. When I got to this world, I found many carob trees. That means somebody planted them for me. So just like my forefathers planted for me, I'm going to plant for my children." So fascinating. We can learn so much from these trees. Our concepts of how long our life exists and how to live our lives connected to what are our roots and what are our fruits, what are our descendants. Trees are a very long life. It's not rare to find trees that last 500 years. Here in Israel, we find trees from hundreds of years old. And of course in other parts of the world as well. This is a wonderful story. Bika'ah. You see on the bottom in the right-hand corner, a different part of the country. What's the Bika'ah? The Jordan Valley. The Jordan Valley. It's part of the Syrian-African rift. On the same page with the olives. At the bottom you have dates. Yes. Fresh dates. You see the yellow one. Go to the next page. And the last page, really, second to last page, it says the fourth cup, Kos Revit. See the fourth cup? And they have other trees here. At the bottom, there's a pine tree with the pine cone. It's very interesting. I wonder, somebody asked me the other day, what's the bracha on a pine cone? I said, see, because a pine tree is really not considered to be a fruit tree. It does have nuts. Snowbarrim. What are they called in English? Pine nuts. Pine nuts. So I wonder if they have. What if the bracha is ha'etz, or if he say it's not a fruit tree, maybe it should be shahakol.
In Russian they make
Or
pine
hadam.
cone
What
jam.
is it? What do you say?
In Russian they make pine cone jam with like mini baby
From the
pine
cones.
Yeah.
Wow.
Full
Wow.
pine cones inside of it.
Pine nuts ha'etz. Ha'etz. Pine nuts are ha'etz. I guess they are considered to be a fruit tree.
I'm surprised.
After all. Yeah, and you could make food out of it. Amazing. Anyways, pine is very common in Israel. A lot of it is planted by the Karen Kayemet Israel, by the JNF. The last page we see an egoz. A walnut. Why is a walnut there? Well, the sages, it's mentioned in Shir Shirim, the concept of nuts, and they say as follows. You can see there's a midrash right near where the walnut is. I'll translate it for you on the fly, and although this is in Hebrew. It says, all fruits, if you have a sack of apples, you take out one apple, okay? Only the apple moves. The apple that you're taking out gets taken out. The rest of the apples stay in the bag wherever they were. But with a nut, if you take one or two of them, all the nuts move. They all adjust. Same thing with the Jewish people. If you take one Jew and you terrorize him, the entire Jewish people get up and they feel like they've been moved and they have to do something about it. Like we see the final conclusion here, they bring Am Yisrael Chai, a lot of soldiers who are going out in horror to react to this massacre of the 7th of October. They are acting like those walnuts. You move one of them, if you do something to one Jew somewhere, we all feel it. We all feel like we get moved about. We get shaken up. We get shaken up. One other thing here I wanted to share with you before we conclude. The problem is a lot of my materials here are in Hebrew, but all right, I think we'll continue this downstairs, the Seder, and we'll call it a day. I will tell you that tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem, we're not going to have regular class. So you're going to have to sing the Shabbat songs on your own, on the Tiyul. And I'm going to be actually participating in my nephew's Brit Milah, so I won't be coming with you on the Tiyul. And I have a wedding at night as well. So busy day tomorrow, Baruch Hashem, but I'm sure it'll be a great experience. Picking lemons.
Is it so hot in the neck?
No, not. If you're lucky, you'll be lucky. It won't rain on you. But It's hotter than Jerusalem for sure. It's hotter than Jerusalem.
I've never been to the Negev.
Well, tomorrow's your chance. It's not the far Negev. Negev is very large. You're going to the northern part of the Negev. It's for all day till about 5.
Perhaps the Negev is where it's located the Bedouin.
A lot of Bedouin live there. A lot of Bedouin.
I
Yeah.
have been in there before.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ken. So, the last class from
For the week and for Shmuel. Shmuel's going to the other class next week. So be'atzlacha to Shmuel. It was wonderful having you, and I'm sure you're going to do great. We'll stay in touch. I mean, we'll see you hopefully Sunday.
This is the Negev.